Welcome back to the Many Interpretations of, where this time we are looking at a fairly recent creature to go extinct, the dodo bird, otherwise known as Rhapis cucullatus. If I butchered that, I apologize, but that is the genus and species name. These are very cool little fellas. Of course, as I mentioned, they went extinct extremely recently. Around the mid to late 1600s is when the last dodo bird survived, which is just, that's crazy to think about that this was such a recent animal. You know, relatively speaking, of course. We have some very cool depictions. Of course, there's not too many of them that I was able to find anywhere. If I were to guess, I would say that the dodo bird does show up in a lot of different TV shows and things like that I have no knowledge about. So if you know about any of those, be sure to let us know in the comments because, you know, we'd love to hear it. But we'll go ahead and get started on the list of the ones that I'm able to acquire, starting off with Alice in Wonderland. So first I'll mention the Disney movie where we have this fella right here, very anthropomorphized, has a pretty good dodo skull, but it's stylized, of course, and a very rounded body. Dodos did, in fact, have a pretty rounded body. They were these pretty big, flightless birds. I mean, they were subject to something that's known as island gigantism, where they were kind of just, they were on an island. They were isolated to an island with no natural predators. And so over time, they eventually became like these really kind of hefty, rounded birds that were flightless, of course, because they didn't need that adaptation to fly away from anything hostile and became adapted to eating like fruits and things on the ground. So, and this kind of matches that. Very cool. There's also this illustration, the original. Very crazy. looks a lot like it, you know, looks like a lot like a dodo bird, but with human hands. That's something. That is something. And then there's Extinct. Again, this guy looks really good. I really like the way that a dodo bird's head looks. I have no idea why. It's just something about that shape of that beak and just how like robust it is and just how pointed it is and the way that it kind of like dips down. I don't know. There's something about the dodo bird skull that I just think is really interesting. But this also looks really good. I think it matches up most depictions of the dodo bird. So another great one right there. These guys are iconic in here. We have Ice Age, the watermelon-loving dodo birds here. They also look great in here. They're stylized for the movies in which they show up. They have that awesome-looking beak and the really plump body. They're portrayed as being pretty dumb, all things considered. And that is a common thing to associate with dodo birds. So much so that the word dodo has been used as sort of like an insult for your intelligence. Believe me, I know. Of course, the dodo bird was not really dumb. It just, like I said before, it was an animal that was adapted to an island that had no natural predators. So when humans eventually did show up onto their island, the island of Mauritius, by the way, they really didn't know how to react because they basically didn't have any survival instincts. They essentially became complacent. That is something that happens to a lot of isolated species, so it's not really something that's linked to the dodo's intelligence, like had often been said. So, like, basically, yeah, these hunters were able to walk up to a dodo and just take it out with relative ease. Also, it didn't just go extinct because of being hunted. It also went extinct because of, you know, the deforestation of the island for farmland. It also went extinct because of pigs and rats and other such animals that were introduced onto the island. Those animals would then eat their eggs, and the dodos, they would only lay one egg, and they would lay them on the ground because, again, flightless. So really, it was just a bad mixture of things that caused the dodo extinction, unfortunately. But anyway, we got a really good stylized one right here. Awesome. There's also the dodos from Primeval in Dodo Madness. Very good name. Love the way that they look. Everything practically checks out. Very tiny wings, very rounded body, that awesome looking beak that I'm probably going to point out a lot because I don't know why I like it. It just looks cool. I also really like the colors. I think that they're a mixtures of grays and whites. I just think they look cool. I don't know. Next, Phineas and Ferb. I remember this fella well. Its design also looks great. Pretty much everything matches up, just a little bit stylized for the Phineas and Ferb style. And yeah, you know, always have to find the dodo bird. What I like is how, you know, Dr. Doofenshmirtz, who is my favorite character from the show, by the way, didn't know what a dodo was. And so when he heard it was extinct, he immediately thought of dinosaurs. So he thought it was going to be like a giant monster for some reason. I don't know. That was a little bit comical. But the dodo is a dinosaur, by the way. Little fun fact right there. I want to bring that up because I remember seeing a video somewhere else that was kind of asking what your favorite Ark dinosaur was, and someone put down the Dodo, and there was a ton of comments responding to this poor person saying that the Dodo is not a dinosaur and that birds are simply just descendant from dinosaurs and they're not dinosaurs for themselves. Birds are dinosaurs, my friends. Birds are dinosaurs. They are still under the Dinosauria clade. Birds first appeared around the late Jurassic as their own group of theropod dinosaurs, and they still exist today as dinosaurs. And that includes other extinct birds like terror birds and the dodo. So, Doofenshmirtz was right. They are like dinosaurs. Futurama has these guys, a kind of solid gray color with some whites here. A lighter face with this white hook on its beak. Looks really good, you know, no notes. David Attenborough's Natural History Museum Alive, the mouthful of a name. We get this awesome looking dodo right here. The colors are remaining pretty consistent with all of these dodos, and I think that these colors are mainly the type of idea that we have for the dodo. Some reconstructions of the dodo do vary. I mean, we do have some older reconstructions of the people who actually saw them, but that's not often too reliable, and there's not too many skeletal remains, like complete skeletal remains of the dodo too. So oddly enough, even though it's pretty recent, its depictions often do vary a little bit, even though I'm kind of contradicting myself because most of these are remaining pretty consistent. Wild Kratts looks good. Again, the gray color. We got like a yellow belly right here. The feathers all look really cool, and it's stylized. I also like the black on the beak. Looks really cool. Someone mentioned that I should include Fantastic Beasts because apparently the Dirical, if I butchered that, I apologize. Apparently the Dirical is described as a dodo, and it was a type of magical creature in the Harry Potter universe. And in the movie, it was designed as this fella right here. So, if we're considering this a dodo, it is probably the most unique dodo that we have on here. Colors are really cool, though, and I think that the quality looks really great. So, yeah, that is a fascinating one. I like it. Then we'll go ahead and move on to the video games, and we have Jurassic Park Builder right here. These guys look really good. They all match up very well. You level them up and you get these awesome, kind of really striking looking colors. Not much else I can say. They look pretty good. Same can also be said for Jurassic World, the game. We get these fellas right here. 3 of them, again. 3 is the magic number. There's also this fella right here. I never got the chance to fight him. I fought the T-Rex and all that good stuff, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Next up on our list is the Fossils and Archaeology mod for Minecraft. Love it. I really like this mod. I like how it has that really kind of Minecraft style to it. Of course, it's very blocky because, you know, Minecraft, but it still does seem to match up to most of our depictions of this animal. I also really like the blue that's kind of like near its beak right there. I think that's really cool. Oh, they come in different sizes, so that's fun. There's also, of course, babies. Babies look a lot more like that. They look really good. I'm of course a huge fan of them. Zoo Tycoon looks great. It's a little bit thin, but I think that's mainly just the game that it's in. Everything else looks great, and it looks very consistent to the other dodos that we've seen. Okay, and then next up on our list, we have Ark Survival Evolved. I'm having issues with my game, so I'm going to have to record it like this because I hadn't previously recorded its own little section. Looks really good here. I think everything practically matches up to most of our current depictions. Probably just a little bit stylized, like with kind of how wavy the beak is right here, or the mouth is up here. The beak, though, I mean, like the front of the beak looks really good. The texturing of the feathers looks awesome. The colors on this one in particular are really cool. Everything, I think, looks fantastic. I also definitely need to mention the Dodo Rex. That is just the most fun concept ever. Kind of reminds me of how, like in Halo, sometimes they'll just make a grunt way more than a regular grunt, and that's exactly what I get here. Has pretty much the body of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, especially in the Ark style, but it's got these feathers that are a lot more dodo-like, and of course the awesome looking beak with also some teeth, so it's got like the combination of both worlds. I also like how the feathers, like the wings, kind of sit on the arms. I think that this looks so cool. And finally, we have the Dodo Wyvern. That looks like this. Much like the Dodo Rex, it has the kind of dodo-like feathers, more brownish in coloration, with a lot more wyvern features, as well as the skull that looks like this with a type of dodo beak. Looks awesome. Looks really cool. Extremely stylized.
These two are probably the most unique that we have on the list. And yeah, I just like that they kind of took that direction with some of these things. You know, kind of just went crazy with it. You know, I think that's really fun.
And there we have it. That, again, that's not too many that I was able to find. There is a huge chance that I was just simply not able to find too many of them. You know, the way that these lists are crafted is a lot of it comes from my own memory, and then I do a quick Google search to make sure that my memory was correct. Like, was there a dodo in Phineas and Ferb? Yes. Finding a dodo bird. But yeah, the dodos were really awesome animals, and it's truly unfortunate that they went extinct. By the way, their closest modern relatives are pigeons and doves. So, you know, I might as well throw that part in there. They would have been fascinating birds to see. Anatomically, they are very different. Again, though, a lot of those depictions were certainly pretty consistent, so I didn't have too many unique things to say about them. I definitely wanted to sprinkle in as much dodo information as I possibly could. So I hope you did get some enjoyment out of this video. The poll will be going up tomorrow, so be sure to vote for which creature you would like to see next. And that's pretty much all I have for this one. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and a comment, and consider subscribing. We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers. At that point, we will do another special many interpretations of, which will either be Velociraptor or Triceratops. I'll let you guys vote on that when we get close enough to it. But hopefully we can hit that goal. That will be an awesome milestone. But I do appreciate all of you guys watching. That's pretty much all I have for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and have an awesome day.